Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help. And King of Floors, your vinyl, laminate, and engineered flooring superstore.
All of our guests today sponsored by the O's marketing team at Royal LePage. They'll find your next home in Nanaimo, Nanoose Bay, Parksville, and Qualicum Beach. Find out more at wearerealestate.com. Honestly, Dolly, I don't know where to begin when it comes to our next guest. Let me begin here. It's National Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness Week, so we thought we'd get Simon Keith on. And for people who aren't aware of Simon's story, he's 55 years old now. The first person to play pro soccer after a heart transplant. That was in the mid-'80s, I believe 1986.
86, yeah.
He underwent a second heart transplant in 2019 along with a kidney transplant. Now, in between all this, he played a pro soccer in the major indoor soccer league with the Cleveland Crunch, the CSL with the Victoria Vistas, played at UNLV, UVic. It's just an amazing story. He's written a book, all of that. And Simon, we're privileged to have you on today. How are you, sir?
Hi, guys. What's happening?
Not much. You tell me. Well, first of all, what should people know about National Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness Week?
Well, in BC, the central hub is BC Transplant, right? So get on the website, register to be an organ donor if that's how you feel, if you feel strongly about it. But really, it works, right? I mean, it's an incredible gift it's the most incredible gift that one human being can bestow on another.
Tell us, if you can go back a bit here, Simon. Tell us about the mid-'80s when, as a young man, as a young athlete, you had to undergo a heart transplant.
Yeah, so like a lot of you guys, athletes, young, dumb, stupid, but going up the ladder of sports, and was just sort of getting there, and got sick, and they sort of did everything we could in Western Canada at Vancouver General and in Victoria, and flew out to Ontario, and solution didn't work for me in Canada, so I had to go to England. Anyways, got a heart transplant, and the surgical team that did it gave me one sort of line that I sort of took to heart, and it was, the goal for heart transplantation for a guy like me was to resume the life that you were living, and so for me that was being an athlete.
What led to the heart transplant, Simon?
Yeah, so I got it's called viral cardiomyopathy. Okay. So they don't really know. It's just a virus, right? And the heart gets what happened to me was the heart just got big and sloppy. It just grew to 3 times its size, and decreased function, and then it goes south from there, right?
How much courage did you have to muster up to play pro soccer again, to play soccer again? Period.
Well, it's interesting. I don't think it was I don't think it's a. I mean, it's a physical challenge, of course.
Yep.
And a mental challenge, but I think the environment is more of a challenge, right? The family and the friends and the coaches and the administrators and the media, and people are scared about you and nervous for you and think you're going to keel over and die, and so it's sort of breaking those stereotypes was probably the highest mountain to climb.
So you have a successful career as a pro soccer player, and what led to your second heart transplant in 2019 that was coupled with a kidney transplant? I hope I got all this right, by the way, Simon.
Yeah, no, totally right. So the average length of heart transplants is about 10 years. It's just a little short of 10 years. So, I got my first one in 86. To get to 2019 was 30 plus years. So I had a good run. What happens is the hearts get, the medication's tough. You got to take it every day, and so it just kind of peters out. So, by the spring of 2018, I just started to struggle, started to go into heart failure again, and my kidneys shut down, and on dialysis and all that kind of fun stuff. And was lucky enough to get a second one. And if you get 2, they throw in a kidney for free. I'm just kidding. It's a bad joke.
Simon, I think one of the most amazing things for me is 3 years after your operation, you were the first overall pick in the Major Indoor Soccer League. It doesn't matter what draft it is. It doesn't matter what age. To go first overall is a massive thing. talk about going first overall 3 years after the operation.
Yeah, so it was, it was really, it was crazy. Back in the day, the MISL that I got drafted into, that was the best league there was no outdoor league. That was the best league in the country. So, I went to this combine sort of thing. They have these all-star things down here, and sort of unaware of it, and just happy to be there. All the All-Americans from around the country, they put you through a week of practices and that kind of stuff. And anyways, I met the general manager of a team from Cleveland. I didn't really know too much about it. And he says to me, listen, we really like you as a player, and we think we want to draft you, number one. But we don't want it to be a media, looked at as a media pick. So if you could you, in the All-Star game tonight, could you win the MVP, and that'll sort of put all the doubters to bed. So, I was lucky and scored a couple goals and played well and got the MVP and drafted the next day. And gosh, it was a long time ago now, boys. But yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It's, that's the phone call back to Pops in Victoria, and you kind of have that moment, right? Like Pop says to me, "You did it. You effing did it. Way to go."
Yeah, no kidding. You're also Simon. You're also a world speaker. You've talked to a lot of people high up in a lot of countries. You challenge people to find their moment of truth, and you dare them to live. I love that. I read a lot of books on leadership, and talk about the moment of truth and daring people to live.
Yeah, I think what happens is, we all listen. We make millions of decisions or hundreds of decisions a day, and we're an aggregation of those decisions. And so what I try to get, I get people to think about, make these important moments in your life, and when they're coming, and being ready and being prepared, and so yeah, I do. I spend a lot of time on the road. I'm actually in between Dayton and Toledo, Ohio right now, as we continue our gospel of organ donation and living and that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, Simon, before we let you go, have you met the relatives of the people who donated their organs to you?
I have.
What was that like?
I met the father of the young man whose heart I got in 1986. Incredible. There's no words to describe it. We hosted him here in Las Vegas a couple years ago, but I met him back in 2012. I've spoken to the widow of the gentleman whose heart and kidney I have. She lives down in Georgia. I haven't met them yet, but it's a very unique, complicated, incredible relationship that is just so grateful to have, of course.
Simon, thanks so much for this. And I take it you're doing a lot of that these days, talking to people, public speaking, that sort of thing. That's what's taking up your time?
I do that. I also work at the very highest level of organ donation in terms of policy change in D.C. and working to get more donors and save more lives and whittle that list down of people who are desperately waiting for these life-saving organs. So it's a full and fruitful journey for sure.
We could go on and on. You're an inspiration, my friend. Thanks so much, Simon. Appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.